Hi and welcome back to the Fractured Rooster. Today we do something really cool to the Ford Bronco. Well, as I mentioned before, the '84 Bronco II had the earliest, most prehistoric EFI ever made, probably. And we ripped it all off and we put a carburetor on it, and that worked great. It honestly was very dependable, started every time, never gave me any trouble, never let me strain it anywhere, but fuel mileage was not that great. I drove it a couple hundred miles and I averaged about 12.2 miles per gallon. And it's okay, I suppose, for an old truck like this. It's not a daily driver, it's not my first vehicle, not even my second vehicle. It's just something I bum around on the weekends, and that's okay. But Holley saw the last video and they thought I might enjoy an upgrade. So today, my friend John Ross and I are going to put a Holley Sniper on the Ford Bronco. To be specific, Holley sent over the EFI Sniper 2300. It's a little 2-barrel kit made specifically for small 4-cylinder, 6-cylinder cars like this one. Here's the part number 550-851. That's the Sniper 2300 in gold, the gold flavor. We installed the majority of this kit yesterday and I filmed all of it. And I got home and found out that my GoPro deleted it all for me. That was very nice of you, GoPro. So I will piece together what I can from John's cameras. I'll probably do a little bit of voiceover to make it make sense. But trust me when I say this was about a 6-hour install.
It's extremely hot. My fingers were absolutely burning.
You're not kidding.
Yeah, I was like, no, forget it. We're not working on this anymore.
Heads up would have been nice.
Yes, my fingers are burning. Well, there is the Holley carb that we have on this thing, and here is the Sniper that we are replacing it with. So we'll kind of take a look inside the boxes here. We of course have the much upgraded Holley air cleaner. Oh, it's beautiful. You can see the Holley lettering there. And we'll open up the big box. And this is the master kit with everything you need to install your Holley. You can see this is the fuel system without return. And we are going to have to add a return, I think. In terms of the fuel line, all the fittings. I mean, these things are great. There's a pump in there, everything you need. And of course, the important box is right here. And we did open it up and take a look at this, but that is absolutely beautiful. These things are a work of art. You can see all the wiring goes out of the back, so it's all hidden. So nice. So that's the system, and there's a touchscreen in there, a couple of wires, the 4 wires we have to hook up, relays, and a new gasket, and we should be good to go. Well, the engine bay is about 900 degrees. I grabbed that air cleaner and was burning my fingers, so we bailed on that for a minute. We're gonna get the tank all wrapped up first, because obviously it's probably the hardest part. It's the most time-consuming part. Everything up front shouldn't take too long. So we're gonna start pulling off the skid plate on the tank. And a few minutes later, we have the tank skid plate off. We have the tank down. We did it the easy way, 2-post lift. That is the easy way, it's kind of cheating, right? So now we're ready to punch some holes in this tank, and we're gonna put our, what we're gonna return into the top maybe, and then put the supply right there. Something like that?
No, supply is going to be stock supply.
Oh, okay. We're just going to pull right on it.
Yep.
Gotcha.
And then
this
will be the return.
Nice.
Just close enough that we can hold the nut on the bottom side and thread it down.
I like that a lot more because it makes it accessible, more accessible than the top. Yeah. For sure, for sure.
I think that top's going to be too close to the floor.
Exactly.
The more I thought about it.
And you don't want to drill a hole in the floor for no reason.
Right.
Cool.
Well, most people don't.
Well, I mean, yeah. You can do whatever you want. We also vacuumed all of this out and scraped it out to make sure no dirt falls into the tank.
But
smart. Hit it with the knocker loose.
The second thing that does, aside from lubricating the metal, it lubricates that O-ring down there.
Yes.
So that doesn't tear when it comes out.
Yep.
Yep.
Checking. That's it. Nailed it. Wow. Here, let me vacuum it off.
Bingo.
Well, that worked super well.
Bingo bango.
Bingo bongo. Building the fuel system real fast. This is the Wix filter. It's a pre-filter, and then we'll have a clamp on here. And then we'll have, you can just follow the fuel flow arrows to make your life easy. And then clamp this one down. Make all your clamps line up because that's the only correct way to do it. Another fuel flow arrow right there. It's funny, this thing's like 16 inches long once you get all the filters lined up. Just goes on and on and on. All right, so I gotta grab one more clamp and we'll have this all put together, and then we'll mount it up inside the frame rail.
It's not real easy to see, but here's our fuel lines. We used the factory sender as a pickup point and just drilled a hole next to the fuel sending unit for the return line. Very easy. Everything was supplied in the kit, including the fuel line. It comes with a pre and a post filter, as I mentioned. All this runs inside the frame rail tucked nicely and neatly along with the factory ones.
There you go, fuel pump tightened up. Oh, I can't hold that one. Come on.
Give it the juice.
The juice will do it. There it goes. Cool. All right, that's not going anywhere. Yeah.
There you go. You know what to do. All right. So now the fuel system's complete.
We have the Bronco II back on the ground. The fuel tank is in. Our lines are basically in. They're just kind of poked up there. So we need to get the actual Sniper on the truck so we know where the lines need to sit. That's kind of where we're stuck now. So what we're going to do real quick here is pull the carb off, get the old fuel line off, of course, and hey, here's that choke. Boom. Okay, that thing's free, right? You got one vacuum line in the back? Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Yeah, yeah, that thing's tight. What are these tolerances? Oh, okay, that works. Here, hold.
Tight. Barely used carburetor for
Yeah, anybody need a brand new Holley? All right, we're done. Let's get out of here.
Yeah.
Finished up?
Yeah. They send a guy to do the rest. Right?
They do. So we had one more complication, and that was we can't get that O2 sensor in anywhere on the pipe. And here is the cat. And we ended up having to sawzall. I took the sawzall and used the gasket as a guide and just let it eat through that bolt there because it would not come out. And weirdly, that cat's perfect. We thought it was plugged, but that's getting sold now. And obviously this is an antique, so it is exempt, which is awesome. We'll chop that off with the sawzall, put in some new pipe, weld it in some new pipe, and have a test pipe or a permanent pipe because it's exempt. It's Kansas.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's tomorrow's to-do list. Lock out the distributor, hook the fuel up to that thing, give it a little bit of power, hit the switch. We're close.
Yep.
Real close.
We're an afternoon away.
Yep.
From doing burnouts.
And like we said, this is definitely a one-day job if you spent the whole day on it. But we've been here for like 4 hours, 5 hours of some food, something like
We
that.
took a lunch break. We sat around.
Yep.
And we're back here on day 2 of the Bronco build. Yesterday we got hung up on the O2 sensors. This morning I welded in the O2 bung that came with the Holley kit. I'm not the best welder, but I think those will work. Cast to galvanized. That was a fun weld. So I measured flange to flange at 22 1/8. So we'll just chop the flanges off so that we can bolt it back in like it was from the factory. We'll have to run no rallies and get another gasket for both ends. I only have one of the two. So we'll chop her down, clean up these flanges after we cut them off and tack them onto that guy.
Can't say I don't share with anybody.
Hey, wonder what it's going to come out as.
It's going to be fully catalyzed.
It's going to be catalyzed.
Oh, Cadillac. It's going to get Cadillac. That's what's going to happen.
Nice. Up badging for the win.
It's a Cadillac converter.
And just like that, I say just like that, but I think this took us longer than it did to drop the tank.
Oh, for sure.
We put our test pipe back in here with an O2 sensor in it. The welds aren't the best.
The welds look great.
We needed that in there for the O2 sensor, which we didn't think this one had, but it does have them way up top, about 2 inches from the back of the manifold.
Only on one bank.
Flanges.
Narrow band.
And we thought we didn't want to have readings from just one side of the engine. Well, we thought we'd put it here. Holley recommends about 18 inches from the manifold, and that's probably ideal for bank 2. It's maybe a little bit of a stretch for bank 1, but this way we're reading both banks. That'll be more gooder. So it's already been a bit of a crazy morning this morning.
Almost died.
We did almost die. John picked me up at my house. We were halfway here, and we were on a 4-lane road, 2 lanes either direction, and I saw a guy from the far side. We were on opposite lanes. I saw a guy from the far side of the road. Looked like he was changing lanes, but it just continued to change beyond the center line. And I did the, I don't have words, I just did the da, 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 and pointed, and John hit the brakes, and that car,
Yeah, we were here, and there was an Explorer here, and all of a sudden this like red truck is just coming straight at both of us.
If that Explorer weren't there, that guy would have probably ended up on the F-250's grill.
That was a full-on Ford wreck. Did you?
Yeah, so, Ford on Ford.
Yeah.
Witnessed by a Ford.
Witnessed by a Ford.
But anyway, yeah, guy crossed 3 lanes of traffic and hit the car that was traveling right in front of us. If that Explorer weren't there, it would have been us.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't think we could have stopped in time.
Oh, that guy would have not made that. I mean, he was fine. But if you would have hit the F-250, it would not have been a good day.
We were probably going 50. He was probably going 50. It wouldn't have been...
Yep.
Would have been good. We wouldn't have been... I doubt we'd be finishing this video.
Absolutely not.
This weekend. We stopped, of course, and checked on the driver, both of them. And the lady that got hit, she was completely distraught. She was moving and packing her house, and I couldn't think of a worse time to get into a car accident.
Yeah, her car got obliterated.
All that stress of moving, and then add to that, you lose a car.
Yep. Crazy. And then we met Farva. It was cool.
Oh, yeah. There was like an off-duty fireman or something that was driving right behind the truck that crossed all the lanes and hit everybody.
F-150.
Also in an F-150, Ford country here. With John, we came to a stop, and John was like, wow, do we need to get out? I was like, yeah, we should get out and check on him. And I was like, do I need to call somebody? And immediately I saw Farva spring into action. He turned on his red and white lights and kicked his siren on. He was excited.
He had a siren. He was like straight up civilian truck.
Like skidded to a stop and jumped out. It was hilarious.
I was like, well, I guess we're good here.
But he did look like a Farva stand-in. It was hilarious.
He could have been Farva.
Are you the driver of this vehicle?
Good times.
Well, we called it an early night last night. I had some family stuff to do, and I just wanted to get out of the shop for a little bit. So we worked just a couple hours yesterday.
Yeah. We did a couple critical things yesterday, though. A couple hours was very productive.
What did we do yesterday?
The cat that made the test pipe. And we put the coolant temp sensor in.
We shouldn't have to get back under this truck except to zip tie the fuel lines to the old fuel lines.
Sounds right to me.
So the rest of the work's done up here.
Just wiring and plugging in the fuel lines.
Yeah. All right.
It's very simple, but we're making it very complicated by just doing everything this truck needs at one time.
Right. So John can't stand all the excess wires laying around this engine bay, and I can't blame him. Look at this. There's some wire nuts over here holding this stuff together. That's all stuff that was done before me, and John can't stand it. I, on the other hand, I can deal with it.
Don't deal with it.
John can't do it. So he's ripping out a lot of wires here that are just redundant or not used at all.
Nothing like old EFI that was a nightmare.
Yeah. So we'll beautify this and hook up our fuel lines and a couple wires, and we should be starting the engine by the end of the day.
Yeah, buddy.
So with the Holley EFI, you've got a couple of different options on timing setups. Option 1 would be to leave it the way it is and just be stuck with whatever timing curve is in your distributor. Option 2 is what we're going to do. I'm going to throw a tack weld. You can see this little ear that sticks up here. I'm going to throw a tack weld on that, which will effectively lock this distributor out into just one timing position for the rest of its life, which is fine because the Holley is a much more sophisticated unit. It's not based off of springs and weights. It's based off of math and computer science and technology that put people on the moon. I trust it. So let's grab that new MIG welder. We're going to throw one tack right on here just to lock this out. And then we'll give Holley full control of the timing, which probably will pick up more power than the air-fuel mixture being perfect. Right, here's a little closer look. You can kind of see the tack weld I put on the backside there. That. Gotta slap it, right?
Ain't going nowhere.
We're fully expecting this EFI unit to take this Bronco from about 120 horsepower to probably 130, 140, I'm guessing. Optimizing the spark and fuel tables are going to add a significant amount of power to this.
People are really upset about us saying this was plug and play and how easy it is, and then us being hung up and it not being plug and play. But the deal is, the way Josh and I install the Sniper, Holley will let you install this thing as is. You can leave the distributor, you can leave your points set up, you can leave your CDI, you can leave whatever you want in the car. But if you do like a CDI box, the CDI box controls the timing and the vacuum advance if it's an old school distributor, whatever. We do not want that in any of our cars because that's terrible. Why would you not want the computer to control the timing? Right. So that's why we got stuck on this thing, and that's why we need that coil driver. We tried to rig it up without it. It did not work. So when we're done, the Sniper's computer controls timing and you can get real performance out of it. And I mean, distributors are just bad technology. I think I might make like a full 1 hour video about how computers work and why you should always have the Sniper control timing and not something ridiculous like external ignition.
We do like the idea of it being computer controlled, and mostly so that we have full control of it.
Yep. It takes and it takes all the variables out of it. You can forget about all the nonsense like external. And honestly, the goal here is to have the least amount of stuff in the engine bay you can. Like that's the best engine you could possibly have. Is EFI with a couple injectors in it, and it controls the ignition. Done.
It's got cranking timing. I forgot about that. So you can turn the timing way down so that it starts very easily and reduces the load on the starter, reduces the need for a ton of amps coming out of the battery.
Yep.
You can get that perfect idle, and then as soon as you crack the throttle, it adds a ton of timing to it. So if you want it super choppy, you can do that. If you want the pops when you decel, it'll do that too. So yeah, there's so many benefits to the computer controlling not just the fuel curve, but the timing also. Say the engine starts to run hot. The old distributor would not know that the car's running hot. The Holley will know it's running hot, and it'll start to pull timing to help you cool the engine down, to help protect your engine.
Throw some fuel in it too, probably.
And it'll, you can. It will definitely add fuel, and you can set it up to alert you on the touchscreen. You can set it up to kill the engine if you want. If you lose oil pressure, overheat, there's a ton of variables and parameters you can set up. It'll safety kill the engine so that you don't hurt it.
And the best thing is the computer for the Sniper. If you guys don't know this, it's not in the touchscreen or anything. It's literally mounted in the like carburetor assembly there in the Sniper itself.
Yeah.
So you can unhook this, and that's all it is. Like that's the whole car.
Yeah. So yeah, removing this carburetor would remove the computer right out of the engine bay. You can go put it on another car. It's so easy. There's nothing tucked away in the fender well. There's no wires to pull through the fender well.
We get to ditch the factory computer. We get to rip all this old wiring out and make this thing a 4-wire car, basically 5-wire, whatever total.
Yeah, I think we looked at the manual. There's five wires run this whole thing.
Yep.
5 wires, 2 hoses, done.
It's only 3 wires if you don't count the battery, and I don't know how you count the battery. Like it's so simple. That's like required for everything.
Yep.
Pretty sweet.
Yep.
No more sacrilege. No more Edelbrock.
But we in 6 hours yesterday, we got, 6 hours over 2 days. We did take some breaks in there. John got some cool new toys, and we were whipping them around the shop. But in the 6 hours we actually worked on the car, we got to this point, and we had to stop because we forgot to get the coil driver unit that amplifies the signal coming out of the distributor to the coil. The factory coil I think it just needs more volts.
It does need more power. That's all the coil driver is an amplifier for the signal.
There you go.
It has its own 12-volt power. So it has like 3 wires. The yellow coil driver runs into it, and then you've got a 12-volt switched and a ground path, and it just...
All right, well, everything's hooked up now. Fuel, all the power wires, ground wires, O2 sensor, everything.
Some wires.
Including the display, some wires.
I just put stuff everywhere. I hope it runs.
We just turned the key on for the very first time.
Yep.
And we have power. So we'll run through
the setup wizard.
We'll run through the setup wizard real quick. And it is so many options.
So many Snipers.
2300, 2 injector on a 6-cylinder. Engine displacement in cubic inches.
Ooh, what is it?
Can you ask Siri? I'm gonna guess it's like a 190, 180.
2.8 liter to CI. 170.
170. I was close.
170.8.
It's way down here at the bottom of the spectrum. Sometimes
The smallest
it's
engine we can run.
just to clear and type it in.
Stylus needed.
Oh my goodness.
Here, I'll type that way you can. You got that angle?
Yep.
Okay. 170, save, next, idle.
Let's go. Got a two-step.
Yep.
Okay, 800, idle is fine. We have a stock cam.
Okay.
That's good. That was.
Okay, there, cool. All right, yeah, stock cam, coil, oh, magnetic distributor, or? Great question.
I think it'll run either direction, but magnetic, yes.
Yeah, it should be, oops, magnetic. You're messing with me. 30?
Yeah, 32.
32. Next. Upload that file.
Beep, boop, beep, beep, beep.
Oop.
Fuel pump for the first time. Let's go look for leaks.
Yeah,
I know those are loose.
No leaks. Run the fuel pump prime again. You ready?
Yep.
So we just got the tune uploaded. Now the fuel pump will prime. Sorry about the buzzing, but the battery's starting real quick.
Nice. There was a priming shot just took place. Everything's out of the fan. I'm ready. I'm ready if you're ready.
I'm ready. I'm hitting the switch. Let's do this.
Okay.
Definitely not.
Hit it again.
Okay. Starting over. And let me make sure the Sniper has power while cranking, but I think it does.
Well, we thought we had it licked, but it turns out we're missing a coil driver. We need to amplify the signal going to the stock coil. It's just not enough juice. There's not enough juice in this Bronco.
Not enough orange juice. OJ.
OJ.
I'm out of here.
Oh.
Yeah,
that was good.
Yeah.
Did we just name the Bronco Lil Juice?
Little juice.
L-I-L Juice.
Oh man.
Lil Juice.
That's perfect, actually. Little juice.
But everything's cycling well. The Holley turns on. It's initiated. The tune's uploaded. It tries to fire. It just got no spark. It's dumping fuel. And unfortunately, nobody here in town has that coil driver. So we're gonna have to wait a couple days for Holley to send one of those to us, which isn't a big deal. It's only a holiday weekend, you know, a 3-day weekend that I go with the new Bronco around. But so as soon as we get that coil driver, we'll hook it up. I think it's another 2-3 more wires. This thing will fire right up, I'm sure of it. But well, like all my projects, we're on a parts hold now, so I guess we'll just enjoy the Memorial Day weekend, and I hope you do the same. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next video. Sorry for talking through most of it and not actually doing a lot of it, but like I said, my GoPro ate all my footage from yesterday.
Well, this is just the warp install. 3, 2, 1, done. Carburetor gone.
But it was 6 hours of work. It really was not that much work. There wasn't a whole lot of content there, to be honest with you.
It honestly only took 2 days because we went home. Oh, you had to be home. Yeah, we had family things to do. That's why.
Yeah, baseball practices and all kinds of stuff.
So that got in the way, but it's a very fast install, especially if you have like one day, like a Saturday.
Yep.
Easy. People are saying that we're crazy for doing this to this truck, but they don't understand like what this thing's worth. This is a money truck.
You know, I think people making those comments are used to
20 years ago car prices.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out what I was going to say.
Because this is a $3,000 to $5,000 truck easy.
A year ago, this would have been $1,200 bucks.
Mm-hmm.
Now these things are on a significant climb.
Double and then more.
Yeah. So I truly believe before the EFI install, this was a $2,500 truck, maybe $3,000.
Calling it 5.
5,000. You might be right. I mean, fully functioning, all original except the carburetor.
Everything works.
AC blows cold. 4-wheel drive works.
We hooked all the gauges back up after we did all this troubleshooting.
Everything works. So you know you might not be far off at $4,000 or $5,000. But I paid $700 for it.
Big win.
That was a huge win. And I think we tripled the value of it, if nothing else, with the new EFI unit. So now it will drive as well as it looks.
Or look as well as it drives.
Or
One of the two.
or will look as well as it drives. Good call. Were you a salesman in a previous life?
Yeah, I was. This is cherry.
You got Rob Pitts over here.
Forgot my watch over here.
Well, we deleted a bunch of wiring. We also deleted a bunch of dirt and grime underneath this thing.
Absolutely. This thing's way cleaner underneath.
It's got a little remain leak, so I was saying it brought its own floor dry. You just sweep its mess into a pile. It's like a cat, just takes care of itself.
It flips really good too, which is, one of the, I think, the key features on a welding helmet is how it flips. And this one's perfect.
Does it have a positive stop so it doesn't hit you in the nose?
So it actually kind of like gently stops right about your nose. Right. Perfect. That one didn't even touch.
That's perfect.
Yep.
That is the mark of a good welding helmet for sure. You'll see guys in the hardware store just doing that, wearing them like, nah, that one's no good.
That's no good.